All right, friends, here are the three choices for historical fiction read aloud. Please remember that starting on Monday, everyone needs to come to Read Aloud 1 while we'll share this read aloud together, both homerooms. Your first choice is called Number the Stars. The historical time period is World War II. This is a time where the Nazis, we know they were following Hitler, they've invaded Denmark and they're looking to arrest and kill Jewish people. Here's the summary. 10-year-old Anne-Marie Johansson is called upon for a selfless act of bravery to help save her best friend Ellen, a Jew. It is 1943, and for 10-year-old Anne-Marie Johansson, life is still full. School, family, sharing fairy stories with her little sister. But there are dangers and worries too. The Nazis have occupied Copenhagen, and there are food shortages, curfews, which means you have to be in your house at a certain period of time, and the constant threat of being stopped by soldiers. And for Anne Marie, the dangers become even greater. Her best friend Ellen is a Jew. When Ellen's parents are taken away to be relocated by the Nazis, Ellen is taken in by Anne Marie's parents, and suddenly Anne Marie's family are under threat too. So at this time, the Nazi people were arresting and trying to kill people that were Jewish. So once Ellen's parents were taken, Anne Marie's parents take them in. Now Anne Marie's parents could possibly be arrested and maybe killed as well for helping somebody who is Jewish. Anne Marie has to call upon all of her resources for courage and bravery as she tries to help her friend make a daring escape. A lot of action in all of these. The next choice is written like a diary. It's called Across the Wide and Lonesome Prairie. This is the Oregon Trail Diary of Hattie Campbell. The historical time period is 1847. It is during pioneer times. This is after Lewis and Clark have explored everything that was west of the Mississippi River. Many people now started traveling the Oregon Trail to start a new life and find wealth and opportunity west of the Mississippi River. Here's the summary. After the death of her two sisters, 13-year-old Hattie and her family try to make for a fresh start. They sell their farm in Missouri and journey across the Oregon Trail toward Oregon City. At first, the adventure is exciting, but as the days, weeks, and months pass, Hattie realizes what a dangerous and tedious trip it is. As they cross the prairies, news of the fate of the Donner Party, remember we talked about they were a group that tried to go on the Oregon Trail. They got stuck in a snowstorm. They not only had to eat the horses around them, but once other people died in order to survive, they started to eat the dead bodies of their friends. So now she's on the trail. She learns about the Donner Party, and all the death, disease, weather, and the terrain take a terrible toll on this traveling party. The Campbells lose neighbors and friends until they can almost not bear to continue. But Hattie and her family must persevere and risk the same misfortune. Hattie's diary, remember it's written like a diary, chronicles the hardships of such a harrowing journey, but it also captures small moments about friendships and celebrations of life that keep hope alive. The third choice is Esperanza Rising. This takes place in the 1930s during the Great Depression in America. This is about 20 years after the Mexican Revolution, which we know as revolutionaries in Mexico did not think that the distribution of wealth was fair. They thought that people that were wealthy had too much money and poor people did not have enough. So people tried to take matters into their own hands, and they tried to take back land from wealthy landowners. Here's the summary. Esperanza thought she'd always live a privileged life on her family's ranch in Mexico. She would always have fancy dresses, a beautiful home filled with servants, and Mama, Papa, and Abuelita to care for her. But a sudden tragedy actually forces Esperanza and Mama to flee California and flee to California. Sorry, they were living in Mexico. They flee to California, and they settle in a Mexican farm labor camp. Esperanza isn't ready for that hard work, the financial struggles brought on by the Great Depression, or a lack of acceptance that she now faces. She no longer fits in. When Mama gets sick and a strike for better working conditions threatens to uproot their new life, Esperanza must find a way to rise above her difficult circumstances because Mama's life, her own, and her own depend on it. These are your three choices for historical fiction. Please pick the one that you are most interested in. Whichever gets the most votes will be the read aloud we choose for historical fiction read aloud 1.